Right then, this is a quick walk around video for an absolutely beautiful little car. This is a Honda CRZ GT Hybrid. This particular car finished in white, which is very sought after, full leather interior, which is standard of course, in fantastic condition, fitted with the optional Sat Nav and hands-free system. The ownership of the car is wonderful. Service history extraordinary, with I think 12 recorded services, 11 of which have been done by the Honda main dealers. We've just serviced it only on age, not mileage. It was only done 1,000 miles ago by the Honda dealership. Car's in lovely condition. Front of the car, lights and lenses are clear and intact. There's no cracks or condensation in them at all. Bumper very, very clean indeed. Likewise, bonnet of the car. I did see one minor little stone chip just down there, but you touch it if it really needs be. Let's go around the car near side first, and it's such a striking design after 10 years old, and it's in lovely condition, as I said. Let's go to the near side front alloy, really good, hardly any marks in there at all. Panels on this side are wonderfully clean. Near side rear alloy, again, absolutely fantastic. Come around the back of the car, again, all very, very clean and tidy. To the offside, driver's side of the car, again, beautifully smooth on the panels, really is. Offside rear alloy, again, very good. There's just a tiny bit of pickling on one of the spokes, so you can see there. Remaining panels, again, very, very clean. And the final alloy, the one that's got sort of more pickling right on the outside edge of the spokes, but in keeping completely with the age and mileage of the car, but it is very, very, very original and clean. Coming to the boot area, again, been kept absolutely beautifully. Now, these are officially 4-seat cars, but you can forget that, because that is pretty much the legroom you get. In all honesty, just drop the rear seats down and you end up with a 2-seater with a massive boot. Coming to the front now, again, it's all in absolutely beautiful condition. The leather work is extraordinarily crisp on the car, and this is miles better than you'd ordinarily see. Coming to the driver's door card, again, continues the theme, absolutely beautiful. And driver's seat, this is the one that normally shows a fair degree of wear. You normally get a bit of wear on the bolsters in here, but in all honesty, there's virtually nothing on this one at all. So inside the car now, engine's running as always to this section, so the dash can be seen illuminated, which looks pretty much factory fresh. It's incredibly clean. You can see there, Sat Nav working exactly as it should. And you got this it's just a stunning interior, absolutely stunning. 60,639 miles. No warning lights on the dashboard at all. When you press the sport button, you get that lovely kind of red hue around the rev counter there, but it all looks absolutely superb. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual, pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CRZ, and it's the GT model. This particular car is registered LS60CZU, and with a mileage of 60,640 recorded. The reason we do all of our videos, and as I say always, especially this road test section, is basically to ensure that if anyone is online, they actually get to see the car we're actually advertising in operation. The reason we feel it's important is very simple. We know to our cost, as so many people do, how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which, whilst it can look perfectly good in photographs and a description, only to get there and find out when you drive it, it's got an issue which shows up straight away as you're driving the car. So hence that's why we do it. We also do it on these very quiet country roads, very close to our premises, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and it's deliberately chosen for that reason, so hopefully it would then be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, as you know from the walk around section, it's been extraordinarily well looked after. The servicing's hybrid. You've got a push button start. The car kind of whirs into life. There's no starter motor as such on them. It starts instantly. It settles to an absolutely smooth and even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. This is what's these days referred to as a self-charging hybrid. So basically what it means is, and what the manufacturers want you to know, is that you can't run out of electric. You don't have to charge it up. You don't have to do anything at all. It's basically, you run it like a normal petrol car, fill it up with fuel, and that's it. Simple as that. The hybrid system battery is relatively small. It's just piggybacking on the back of the car to give you a bit of extra performance and better economy. So it's not reliant on it in that sense. And it charges itself up as you back off of throttle and apply the brakes. It regenerates power into the battery that way. So it's very clever indeed, and incredibly reliable as well. The whole car. They've just got an amazing reputation for reliability. It's also just a lovely thing to use day in, day out, helped by the Honda 4-cylinder engine, which is typical of the breed. It's lovely and smooth. When it's vocal, it sounds lovely because you get lovely induction noise coming into the car. It also gives you 3 modes of driving. So basically when you pull away, you'll be in what they call normal mode. You can select an eco mode just by pressing the button on the right hand side here. And of course that's there to basically encourage more economical driving and more economy from the engine. It does feel flatter. You put your foot down now, you don't get the same sort of throttle response. As I said, all of these CRZ videos, this might sound strange from someone selling one. I didn't get on with my first one because basically I spent my whole time trying to get manufacturers' MPGs and drove around very slowly, very carefully, eco mode the whole time, and just didn't derive the pleasure from the car I should have done. Later ones I basically got in, pressed the sport button, and immediately the steering gets slightly heavier. The throttle response is absolutely instant. You can feel a much more urge, and it is by far and away the most pleasurable mode to be in. And also the fact that what you lose in economy, you more than make up for in fun. It's disproportionate. It really is. It's brilliantly resolved system. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, perfect. Bite point, exactly where it's meant to be. Lovely and smooth in operation. Gear change, one of the very best gear changes you'll ever use. It is borderline perfect. It's got everything I love about a gear change. It's got a kind of a mechanical weight to it. The gear lever itself feels brilliant in hand to hold. It's shaped perfectly. When you change gear, it's short and throw. It's incredibly fast. It's just absolute perfection. It really is. And what I love about it is it adds to the sense of fun in the car. It adds to the driving dynamic of the car rather than detracting, as so many gearboxes are guilty of doing. It really is simply superb. I'm just going to turn around because I think it looks like I was wondering why there was so much traffic here today. I can see blue lights up above, so I'm going to spin round and come back the other way because I think they may well have just closed the road, unfortunately. So I don't want to go up there and intrude in any way. And the gear lever, by the way, and the gear change feels exactly as it would have done when it was new. I'm going to give the brakes a good thump. I'm doing it slightly out of order, but perfect brakes on the car again. Lovely positive brake, no pulsing, no vibrations coming through there at all. Steering on the car, track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. I'm sorry, just get it. This isn't normal for me. I don't just I can see there's all sorts of things going on up here. So I am guessing there's been some sort of accident, which means I'm going to spin around. As I said, I'm not going to intrude on what's clearly going on up there at the moment. So coming back to the steering and the chassis, because in some ways they are the best part of the car for me. It's just a wonderful car to drive day in, day out. It's got The steering is precise, it's beautifully weighted, it's accurate. You just know exactly where the car's going, and it goes exactly where you want it to go with every tiny little input of the steering wheel. And the chassis adds to that because it gives you a ridiculously compliant ride, in all honesty, for the type of car it is. It's supple, it's beautifully damped, it irons out the imperfections really, really well, far better than said you'd ordinarily expect. But when it comes to going through corners, it allows the car to simply flow. And as I said in so many of my previous videos, it really does remind me of a kind of an 80s or 90s hot hatch, because the problem with modern cars is they become kind of very heavy, and their movements, whilst they're very impressive, they'll grip better than this, there's loads of things better about them in lots of ways, but what they can't do is, when you go through corners like this, you've got the feeling it's light on its feet, it's keen to change direction, so coming into corners like this one a little bit quicker than ordinarily I would, just turn in. It's got a lovely body control as you flow through the corners. Brilliantly done, absolutely brilliantly done. I never tire of it. I think it's one of the great chassis out there. Also listening out for, as I'm on a road test by the way, any kind of rattles or clonks coming from underneath the car that shouldn't be there, and there are none at all. The whole car feels incredibly tight and fresh, and it belies the fact that it's 10 years old, but is a reflection, I guess, of the investment that people have made in their servicing, because it just drives absolutely as new. It's incredible. Coming inside the car finally, and again it just gets better and better and better. You've got this wonderful interior, beautifully put together, as all Hondas are. You got a very nice colouring. You got this kind of the two-tone interior, but very, very nicely done. Lovely texturing of the interior. Leather looks fantastic. You've got a panoramic roof on these GT models to let a lot of natural light in the car, but you just got this incredibly interesting but brilliantly easy to use, ergonomically designed interior. Sat Nav, obviously the options are set on the walk-around video, working perfectly. Heated seats working perfectly. Air conditioning blowing out lovely cold air currently. But what you don't get to see on the videos is just every time you turn something or press something, you've got that beautiful quality of actuation you get from a Honda car. And then you've got this dash. I mean, it's just brilliant to look at, and I know it's a personal opinion, but I genuinely think it's one of the nicest designs, because it's pleasing on the eye. Every time you get in the car, it's a point of interest when people who haven't seen them before get in them as well. But it works brilliantly. You've got these little pods either side of the steering wheel, very, very similar to the S2000. Lovely steering wheel design, thick rimmed, leather bound, feels absolutely superb in hand. And then this dash binnacle, which has got an almost arcade look to it with the graphics and the way it's laid out. But it's just, in an era of cars which are, can be quite joyless, really, quite dull. They're just, they're very efficient. They do what they do. They've got a binnacle there, centre stack there, and they're all the same, but just variations of the same. This is different, but not different for different sake. It works brilliantly. As I said at the start of the video, the point is to show any issues, of which there's nothing at all. It drives absolutely superbly. If you've got any questions though, don't hesitate, do give us a call.